Clark Foundation, and delighted you're all here. And on behalf of Jane Forbes Clark, it's our pleasure to begin the ceremony for the 2015 Patrick C. Fetterman Award. It is one of the highlights of the year for the Clark Foundation and for the Clark Sports Center. As many of you know, this award was established in 1993 by the Foundation in appreciation of the qualities that Pat brought to us as the longtime Associate Director of the Clark Sports Center. It recognizes great people in our community who are dedicated to positively affecting the lives of children through sports. I would like to take a moment to remind you who past recipients have been, and we're delighted that many of them are here today. They have changed more than one young person's life in our community, be it by a word of encouragement, a smile, a lesson, I agree, or just by being there. Those of you who are here that are past award recipients, if you could stand and remain standing as I call your name. As I mentioned, this started in 1993. Our first award winner, who's no longer with us, was Beanie Ansley, who was, of course, was a volunteer umpire here for many, many years, decades in Cooperstown. In 1994, our award winner was Jack Vineyard. He's a volunteer coach and sport official. Jack is here. Jack, thank you. Okay, you're going to be clapping a lot. I'm just telling you that. In 1995, our award winner was Ted Kantorowski, who was an athletic administrator, teacher, and coach, and Ted is here. In 1996, it was Malcolm Brooks, who was, of course, no longer with us, and of course, he was renowned for being the director, longtime director of the Alfred Corning Clark Gym, which, of course, is now the Sports Center. In 1997-98, the award winner was Jerry Townsend, a teacher and coach. In 1999, it was Don Howard, a teacher and coach. Don, you're here, right? In the year 2000, it was Dick White, who is no longer with us, but I believe Janet, his wife, is here. Thank you for being here, Janet. In 2001, it was a team, Ed and Pat Hazard, who are youth sport organizers, volunteer teachers. In 2002, it was Sharky Nagelschmidt. I don't need to tell you what Sharky has done, but you know that. Youth sport volunteer coach, official, and of course just recently retired from the Clark Sports Center earlier this year. 40 years of service, Sharky? 45, who's counting? Again, Sharky, thank you for everything you did on behalf of the center for many, many decades. In 2003, Frank Myasek, a teacher and coach, and Frank is here, correct? Is Frank here? No? Okay. In 2004, it was Ted Spencer, who is, of course, the chronicler of In 2005, it was Terry Bliss, coach and youth sport organizer. In 2006, it was David Adsit, a coach and booster club leader here in Cooperstown. In 2008, who I've had the pleasure of having lunch with, it was Connie Herzig, coach and physical education. In 2009, it was the Sports Center's own Brenda Weatherspoon Gray, of course a coach in the aquatic section. In 2010, it was Paul Lambert, our educator, coach, and official. Paul, of course, was also the director of the Clark Foundation Scholarship Program for many years. Thank you again for that service to Paul. In 2011, it was Bruce Andrews, basketball and football coach. In 2012, it was Brenda Yeager, educator and coach. Brenda's here, I think. In 2013, it was David Bliss, coach and referee. And finally, last year, in 2014, it was Mark Rathbun, an educator, coach, and official. Mark. Thank you all for everything you have done and continue to do. You be seated.
One left.
One left?
2007.
2007? Buddy, sorry. Last night, right? Who, as you know, is a coach. Sorry about that. I don't know how I missed that. I apologize. And it was a good year for me. I'd also like to introduce the Fetterman Award Selection Committee and thank them for their wonderful work in selecting our award winner for this year. The chair of that committee is Brenda Weatherspoon Gray. Also, our colleagues from the Sports Center, Rose Crane, Kathy Graham, Barry Gray, Rich Yancey, Jim Jordan, the only and one and only Val Page, and Scott Whiteman. Can you all stand real quickly and just be John Harris is also a member of that committee but could not be with us today. He's the head of maintenance at the Sports Center. He does a great job, too. So as I think you know, because we announced the name of the award winner this year in the paper, and there was a very nice article about that. Bobby Hall is the recipient of the 2015 Fetterman Award. Bobby's right here. Let me say a few things about Bobby before we bring him up here. Bobby grew up in Springfield, graduated from Springfield High School, was a student athlete, grew up playing football, baseball, basketball, and soccer. I think he likes baseball the most. You'll see his tie will indicate that. As he noted in the Freeman's Journal last week, as a boy he loved going to the Clark Sports Center back when it was on Main Street, doing various activities all day long, especially on Saturdays. Bobby is a graduate of Herkimer County Community College and an underwriter at New York Central Mutual. Now the reason for presenting this award to Bobby today is because he's been coaching baseball since 2001. He joined Cooperstown Youth Baseball that year and coached various teams, including the All-Star teams, until 2012. And in that time period, not only did he coach, but was commissioner of the T-ball, minor, and major league programs, and also coached in local pony league. That's a lot of coaching. Along with his commitment to baseball, he also coached youth soccer for 8 years, including 3 years coaching the Cooperstown boys soccer travel team with our 2007 award winner. In addition to coaching, Bobby has been a volunteer referee at the Fetterman basketball tournament and for the junior basketball league at the Clark Sports Center. And finally, he's been a volunteer with the Cooperstown Booster Club. And I think he's still on the hardwood in the winter. You play in the adult league, right? That's right, good. As many of you know well in this room, and I do too, I'm a volunteer coach doing travel baseball with my son down in New Jersey. Now, this is a tremendous amount of time and energy that Bobby has invested in youth sports. As Val Page told me over the phone earlier this week, Bobby is very committed to giving back to the community that has given to him and his children so much. Bobby fervently believes in the value of sports programs and what they teach a child about appropriate behavior and good sportsmanship. So before we present the award to Bobby, I'd like to invite Bobby to join me at the podium and say a few words. Bobby?
Well, hello everybody, and thank you all for coming and taking the time out of your day. It really does mean a whole lot to me to see you all here. It's very nice. I would first like to thank Doug for taking time out of his day to travel up to Cooperstown to be a part of the celebration. I'd like to thank Val and Brenda and the entire staff at the Clark Sports Center for the wonderful job they do and for what the Sports Center does provide, this community. It truly is a fantastic place. I don't know any other place like it for a town of this size. So we are very, very lucky to have such a facility right here. I'm not too much known for public speaking. It's pretty tough. Definitely the most stressful thing to think about after learning that I got this award. So if I sound shaky, sorry. When Val and Brenda called to inform me that I had been selected as the Fetterman Award winner, I was very surprised, really excited, and totally honored to be recognized with all these past recipients, most of the people that I've known for some time, and certainly looked up to and admired a whole lot. Bob, Dave, the Hazards, people who made it easy for me as my kids got to that age, to get involved, just seeing what they were doing for their kids. And I knew as soon as my kids were at that point where they could start playing, I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to experience what they had experienced. It was certainly you can tell how much joy they all get from it because they've done it for so many years. So basically, that's really all I wanted to say is what an honor and a privilege it is for me to, think of myself as being on the same trophy with the rest of these great people who've won this award. It's such an honor and very humbling for myself, because I just never could have really imagined it. Cooperstown's been a really, really wonderful place to live and raise a family. I made it 10 miles up the lake, but to me it was like moving to the big city from Springfield. And I knew, I wanted to live within a few miles of the Clark Sports Center right from the get-go, because I knew that would be something that my kids would enjoy and that we would certainly utilize and spend as much time. And even when I came here from Springfield, guys like Sharky and Jack, they didn't know where you came from, so they learned your name, they remembered your name, and when I came on weekends, even though I wasn't from this village, I certainly felt connected, just because of the way that the staff always treats people. They're very, very kind. So thank you all very, very much. I really, really do appreciate it. It's such an honor for me, and I'm really, really humbled by it. So thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. As is the tradition of the Fetterman Award luncheon, I'd like to invite anyone else to share a few words on behalf of our community.
Good afternoon. This is a true honor for me. I will try really hard not to cry. I've cried once giving a speech while at the end of a baseball season, and that was for Maggie Hall after coaching her for 5 years in Little League. Bobby and I have coached, I was trying to count how many teams. I think it's 14 or 15 teams together. I'm not sure who was the assistant coach, who was the head coach, because we both had those roles. But I've had the privilege of being with Bob and watching him evolve through youth baseball in the area. And I'll tell you a couple of stories about that evolution of Bob Hall. So first time we coached together, we had second graders, and the goal is to teach them how to throw, hit, catch the ball, and we got to see a lot of amazing things because we got to see kids do some things for the first time. It's beyond back then. That's when the teaching skills to the kids was one step beyond the t-ball level. So we're really trying to play real baseball. And two great moments that year. One little girl that was on our team, Kaylee, who was standing next to Bob, and we were really focused in the game, because minor league, Little League is critical, that you win. This was before our Positive Coaching Alliance training, so our goal is to win. And we're kind of focused, looking at, we got a new pitcher up, and learning how to throw the ball, and we're watching this at the plate, and our field's out the field, and Kayla comes off the field, and Bobby and I, we weren't paying attention in, and then she comes off the field, and we both look at her, and she's covered in mud from her forehead right down to her jersey. Her whole entire face was covered in mud. We're like, Kayla, what's going on? And she's like, oh, nothing. And we walk out to left field where she was standing. She dug herself a hole about this big. There's Bobby trying to fill the hole up so we don't kill the next kid that's running around out there. And then also that year, which was almost towards the end of the season, you go through the season, you get your wins, and kids do some great things. But one of the best moments of that season was Kaylee, who had at that she's grown, and she's a beautiful young woman. But back then, she had really no athletic talent whatsoever. Like couldn't put one foot in front of the other. And we were dying for her to do something at the plate, and she's standing at the plate, and a wild pitch is thrown, and with her bat up in the air, the ball hits the top of the bat, drops in a fair territory. Bobby and I look at each other, and then we look at Kayla, and we yell, "Run!" And she made it to first base. Just one of those great moments. So we're really positive guys back then, and you know, teaching young kids how to play. The next year, our two kids were a little bit older, and we got invited to at the end of the season to coach the All-Star team. You know, now it's really serious, right? You're traveling around. Then it was part of the official Little League, you know, trying to get to Pennsylvania tournament. We hadn't done anything like that. We go to our first tournament down just west of Binghamton, and there's Bobby in a usual t-shirt, shorts, and gym shorts and that. So we show up. The other coaches have uniforms on, and then we learn one of the coaches is paid, and we're just like, no, this is not going to be a good game. I come from Cooperstown playing in a big town, but the kids had a blast, and one of the key things you need to know about Bob, that no matter what's happening with the game, the kids will learn something, and they will have a lot of fun, and what they do learn is not always about the skill in the sport, although they do get that out of Bob because he's very serious about his sports, but they learn how to treat each other. And after 15 teams and stuff, you get your kids that get along, don't get along, and you get your umpires that get along, don't get along, and we've had a lot of life lessons along the way. But I can tell you as a friend of Bobby's and someone who's spent a lot of time with them, that you cannot get a better role model to be with the children of our community. You just can't find one. And he's just a terrific guy. Love him, love his family. Just great folks, and nobody could be. I can't be more honored for him getting this award. Just having spent so much time with him, and this community has a real gem in Bobby Hall. So congratulations, Bobby. Good job.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share some thoughts? All right.
I can have many stories just like Scott. I've had the honor of being around Bobby Hall for a lot of years, around both his kids, and still get complete joy anytime I get a chance to be around him. You come great with them. And it was only obvious, the choice as to why you're receiving this award today, because it wasn't just your kids that you helped raise. And yeah, that makes all the difference in everybody's life. But you talk about dedication, and every one of you award winners knows what kind of dedication you have to be a volunteer. And here we are getting ready for an all-star baseball tournament at the former Beanie Ainsley Field. And it had poured the night before. Bobby met me there at 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. We dug 4-foot holes and squeegeed water into that hole just to get that field dry and get those 6 or 8 games in that day. Your dedication to the kids of this community is far-reaching. I'm proud to have been a portion of that in your life and have you as a part of mine. So I'm super proud for you, buddy. You deserve this.
Thanks. Okay.
Had the pleasure of knowing Bobby for a long time, played basketball with him, coached his daughter for 10 or 12 years. And, Bobby was always there, always very supportive, never second guessing as a fellow coach. Wanted his daughter to do better. And his daughter obviously was an excellent player, all-star, playing college softball now. But after the big games, he wasn't out there trying to get recognition or glad-handed. He was grabbing a rake and raking the field and doing all the little things that help out a coach carrying equipment, not just, paid attention to his own kids, but doing something for the team, even when he wasn't coaching. So I really appreciate all your support. everything he's done for the community.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else? Yes, come on up.
Promise not to cry. I first met Bob and Pop Warner. We were 8 years old, and the coach at the time didn't utilize Bobby's skills very well because I think you were a tackle, right? Center. 60 pounds. This is the last time he was not considered one of the most powerful players on any team. I also came from Cherry Valley and got to know Clark's gym similar to Bobby, and I think one of my great regrets in life is not having taken advantage of that and lived closer, because I've been very jealous of the opportunity that everyone in this community has with the Clarks. And honoring Bobby today is powerful because he's made me a better person. And just congratulations, and I love you.
Anyone else? Terrific. Great. Well, some lovely words. Thank you all for sharing those. So, it's award time now. So, Bobby, on behalf of Jane Forbes Clark and the Board of Directors of the Clark Foundation, and Val and the team at the Clark Sports Center, it is indeed an honor to present to you the 2015 Patrick C. Fetterman Award. So, come on up. Picture, right? Wait, you want to do it over there? Oh, over here. Okay, so let's go over here. You should be part of this. Right here? Oh, and I have to hold on. Okay. There you go. I think I worked out this one. One more? Okay. Great, thank you. Thank you. You bet, Bob. So please, I didn't drop that. Okay. So again, Bobby, congratulations. Wonderful event as always. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. So until the next time, have a great trip home and enjoy this wonderful fall weather we're having. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.